Hey, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the show. I hope the audio isn't killing you. I've been playing around after my technical difficulties last stream. Hopefully, things have been sorted out and they're doing a lot better now. So, welcome, everybody. We're going to be reviewing another Indiegogo campaign tonight. This is Rob Huerta's book, Tales from Cthulhu, from the Tales from the Classroom, and this is going to be the mini stories Tales of Cthulhu from that series. It's an interlude between his first and second book, which I think he's going to be crowdfunding fairly soon. So this is a bit of material for people who just don't want to wait for the second book to come out quite yet. And yeah, it'll be a nice little discussion tonight. Have a few panelists joining us a little bit later, so we'll get things started here first with the chat and see how everybody's doing. So first, Captain James Biggins, which I suspect I might know whose alt this truly is, but he's already bored even before the show started, so that should tell us everything we need to know. Everybody Loves Cthulhu says Cthulhu sounds like a made-up name to me. It's a little bit odd that you would say that, actually. Everybody Loves Cthulhu, but, we'll let that one go. Velned says, the stank is dead, DED. Long live the stank. Sub to Finn's new channel. Yes, Finatra is going to be losing his channel, and so if you want to keep up with the stank stream, you're going to have to sub to his new channel, where he'll be doing his stank stream live streams. And here is the link for the campaign, Tales from the Classroom, the Cthulhu Files. Sorry, I completely messed it up. But yes, it's the mini stories are the Cthulhu Files, and there's going to be 3 short stories that are part of that one book. So, Wilberforce Wooster's here. He's thanking Velnet for his service. And Vic is here. Captain James Biggins, thank you for your duty, sir. Well, thank you. So with that, we'll bring on the one reviewer we have with us so far, and we'll wait for everybody else to slowly make their way in. So let's welcome Sunshine.
Greetings.
Yes. Hello, Sunshine. Did you happen to catch the Batman 89 review that I did
no.
days ago? your viewership loyalty is endearing, but I'm going to bring that up and read the comments, so I hope you won't mind.
Go ahead.
Okay, I will do. Let's see. So for your information, since you did not watch that stream, we had Camel Moon on and Twitless, and we reviewed Batman 89, which is a new series from DC based on the original Batman movies from the 80s.
Did Twitless comment on the motorcycle again?
No, we managed to avoid the motorcycle comments this time, so mercifully. But there was a lot of rage. I mean, I even felt bad for this book a little bit because, yeah, both of them were really unhappy with it. But we had some comments here. Nat C was very taken by Camel Moon during this appearance. He said, "Who is this Camel Moon? I just remember him giggling and clipping Jack shows. Those rants." He's referring to rants that happened during the stream. And then he says, first appearance of Camel Moon, Batman is Derek Chauvin. So I probably won't give any context there. You're welcome to check out the stream for yourself because I know I'll probably say something incorrect. Tree Goblin says, super boring show, ladies. Yes, thank you, Tree Goblin. And Jack Stafford says, apologies for not being able to do my normal promotion of your guest's project. Something came up and I could only listen and didn't have access to my links. Well, that's quite all right, Jack. We always appreciate your helping for the channel. And yeah, it's not a problem that you missed one of the streams. And he also points out that Camel was fun and Twitless had extensive knowledge about Batman, comics, and movies. So thank you.
Well Hung and Dung wants to know where his book is from Camel Moon.
Well, apparently he's going to be done up to about 15 pages come December, Christmas time. So there'll be 15 pages left, and he only has coloring left to do. So
is he coloring it himself?
That was my impression based on what he described. So
I guess the good news there is he's not waiting on someone else. He's doing it himself. He's got to get it done.
Yes. And that's I guess that's a large undertaking to have to do everything on your own. And I think that, I mean, that discussion has been had ad nauseum about Lake's books and the amount of effort that goes into making them when you're doing it all alone. So I guess you can understand that, yeah, it's going to take a little bit more time.
Yes, I am in a very good mood.
And why are you in such a good mood today, Sunshine?
Because who doesn't want to review comic books?
Oh, well, so you're excited for this review tonight then?
Extremely.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Well, joining us to brighten your mood even further, we have Alasmat.
I want to ask, welcome, Wan Hung and Dong. Why aren't you asking about where my book is?
I think it's because it's out. You shipped it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I have extra copies on eBay. I do have a little eBay store. RoadWarrior.com would take you to the eBay link. So if you want an extra, a book that's still available, go for it.
It should be pointed out, Alasmat is a completely fulfilled comic book creator.
And it's a wonderful feeling. It really is.
It's like becoming a man. So.
You know, yeah, you're right. It's like I grow my pubes. I have hair.
Or like a drake. Is it like becoming a drake?
I don't. Why did you have to go there? I was in a good mood. I came in here ready to share happiness. It's Christmas time, and you had to rain on my sunshine. Oh.
No.
Oh, you saw it in there?
Sunshine.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Yeah, we'll save the water sports for later.
In 2 days, it will be St. Nicholas Day, so that's exciting.
That is very exciting. Yeah.
Actually, isn't it 2 days Robin Noodle Day?
I don't know. It's also the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Oh, yeah, that happened too. Yes.
Well, and on that chipper note, we also have another disaster from history. Please welcome Ted Neodore Logan.
Excellent. It is most excellent to be here with you again, Well Read.
Oh. Ted, how come you're not asking about my book, Ted? Did you back my book?
You also made a book.
Yes.
Wow, that is most excellent. I too have a book.
Well,
what is your book?
My book is called Street Champion Road Warrior Drake. I have copies on eBay available. You should buy one.
Say that slower so that I can understand.
Hold on, you're absolutely right. I do need to be a little slower. So let me get my mental Xanax and say it slower. You should you should buy a copy of Street Champion Road Warrior Drake in my eBay store, but it's at roadwarrior.com. I'm telling you, Ted.
Champion.
Yes, Ted, it works. It looks great in your library. You should have a copy.
Where are the streets? that he's
Everywhere.
the champion of?
Oh, wherever he steps his foot on, he is automatically champion. This
Wait
is
a
like
minute. So if someone went to roadwarrior.com, they would find your eBay store.
RoadWarriorDrake.com.
Oh, Road
Yes.
Warrior Drake. Okay.
Yes. And you'll see my extra surplus of books available,
Excellent.
some of which will not be reprinted once they're sold, so you have an opportunity to get history.
So
May I ask a question?
yes, go right ahead, Logan.
You could call me Ted or Neo if you'd like, Well Read.
Okay, Teddy, go right ahead.
My name is Neo.
Is that the
Neo.
question?
No, did that sound like it had a question mark?
Well, you never know, because sometimes you could be subverting the English language. That could be a thing, you know.
I don't believe in subversive storytelling, other
I don't
than with
either.
the Wachowskis.
There you go. It's bullshit. I agree. Go ahead. What's your question?
What
kind
is an
sir?
alasmat? Is that like, it reminds me of an Arabic place I used to do my laundry before I was famous. The Alasmat. It was a laundromat.
Well,
run by
Alasmat is
Arabics.
it's a philosophy. It is a way of being. There is no real definition for it other than it's just there on the internet.
So
Excellent.
you're saying it's a meaningless gibberish?
For sake of kayfabe, yeah, we'll call it meaningless gibberish. But it's
Okay.
actually it's actually an amalgamation of my real name, by the way. My real name is Alberto Martinez. My baptismal middle name is Lazarus, so that's where you get a Lazarus or Alberto Lazarus Martinez. So there you go.
So it's a portmanteau of your name. Okay.
My name too changed from Ted to Neo. Whoa! Are you transforming into a dog right now?
I identify as a canine right now, so I appreciate you
Whoa.
respecting it. Yes.
You're
Well,
a
no,
Pokemon.
I think he yips when he gets excited like that.
I was not aware you were going to have a Pokemon tonight, Well Read, or I would have brought my cards and my ball to capture him.
Well, I mean, you brought the ball. You just need the
Whoa,
cards.
He's evolving.
I am
Actually,
tuning.
I think that might be his dinner.
Sir, I am not Korean. I don't appreciate that.
I
That
will
is-
not judge our Asian American friend, Alasmat.
I am Mexican, sir.
Could you strangle that dog maybe with the microphone muted, though?
I'm gonna give OS some extra views. Here we go. This is for Well Read.
That's
Yeah.
2 dogs.
Oh, I have new tags
It's
to
very
add to the video
interesting.
now.
You actually look more retarded than you sound.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It is proven though that if you attach a dog or a cat to anything, you get more views. So, if you wanted to sell cocaine, you can actually all you gotta do is put it on your dog and boom.
I would
Instant sales.
actually like to purchase some cocaine.
We'll talk after the show.
Excellent.
In Minecraft.
I don't
gentlemen.
play Minecraft.
On this show, everybody plays Minecraft. So with that, now that we have dog tags that we can add to the video, let's jump into the comic book. So
Were you in the war, Well Read?
why is that?
You just said dog tags.
Yes, dog tags are what you need to survive
You were? Which war? Afghanistan or Iraq?
the Tard Wars that happen on YouTube.
Well, how do you
Some
know?
of that.
How do you know
Is
it
that
was
like
a,
in Africa? The Tar Wars? Like a
They're-
tar baby?
They're pretty much, they're pretty much like in the bush in the jungle. Nothing makes sense, and it's survival of the fittest.
I've been in the bush.
I bet you have.
Breaking news. Vic says F Camel Moon.
Whoa.
Not a lot of Camel Moon fans in the chat tonight.
Whoa, this is excellent.
I mean, if you want better animation and CG, just come to my stuff. I got the season 2 of Road Warrior Drake this week on DH1 Network. So
Are we going to play this trailer?
Sure, we could play the trailer.
I haven't seen this, so I have no idea. You know you want to add Narwhal to that list, Nick.
so far, I'm back in the trailer.
Excellent previews.
Any trailer that uses animation is in my book.
Good sound effect use. Yeah, I think he knew what he was doing with that trailer.
Dude, I can't believe I made this. I don't even remember.
I don't think you made that. I think Rob
What?
Morta made that.
Yeah, I thought that was
Well
the guy
Red
who
said
made it.
in the message. Well Red said we were reviewing my comic.
I did?
Wait, did Wilbur pull that shit on you again?
Oh wait, is that an old? Oh, that was an
Wow.
old message.
Yeah, you have to scroll down.
Wait,
It's
so I didn't work on this.
no. I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Well, geez, Well Red, you could have maybe mentioned that.
Well, your dog might be here.
I'm busy.
From the John Wick series. You know, he might have
didn't
ended up.
write it.
The one that lived?
Maybe
Yeah, the
I
one that
drew
lived.
it though. Go down.
Okay. So it's the Cthulhu Files. Do you know anything about that, Teddy?
Is that yeah, I believe that's the capital of Malaysia.
Oh, well, it's a good guess, but it's completely wrong. So,
Bummer.
this was a collection of short stories, as I mentioned earlier, from Rob Murta. There's 3 of them.
I
going to
once
discuss
watched a
tonight.
Japanese chick fucking octopus.
I don't know where to go with that story, but
Whoa! Look at that! I drew
One-
that.
One phone call, and I know where he can go. Don't worry.
we might have to send them there early.
Oh, Vic is actually saying something nice about people.
That is
Well, he's-
heartwarming.
Well,
He
not
says-
there, but on his next comment.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's hard to find nice comments from Vic. Really have to dig.
Wow.
Adam Post, the boring guys Shane Davis has like Leroy. Narwhal and Bancroft are pretty humble, not posers like those other guys.
Yeah, I will say Bancroft gained a little bit of my respect with the CGNow.net site. And it's actually very easy to navigate, too. So you got to give praise where praise is due.
Well, and Everybody Loves Cthulhu points out that Camel Moon is nothing compared to Camel Toe.
Always
agree.
have camel toe. Yes.
Excellent.
So,
Lily Wachowski has a lovely camel toe.
anyway.
I'm on the
so
phone right now.
Whoa! Crankshaft. I love Crankshaft. That was my favorite funny in the newspaper on Sundays when I was growing up. That's
So-
Crankshaft right there.
Crankshaft? Where,
He's got
where
his
are
red
you?
hat on.
I have no idea where you're looking. Oh, here. This mummy thing?
Yeah, that's the red hat.
Okay. It's not MAGA, is it?
What? No, it's Crankshaft.
Okay.
The funnies? Didn't you read the funnies as a child? Well read.
No.
Your
I didn't.
parents didn't get you the funnies.
No, we couldn't afford the newspaper,
You were
unfortunately.
poor.
Yeah. The dog got the newspaper before we did, so.
Elasmat got the newspaper. Rude.
Sir, I'll have you know I delivered the fucking thing.
You delivered a dog?
Apparently Camel Moon killed the monotone of the streams.
Didn't you have Twitless too? So you were the only monotone.
I was, yeah. You
On with
abandoned
the
me.
awesome Crankshaft comic that I wrote.
All right. Multiple covers, as you can see.
I'm
So-
pretty sure that I made this. See, that's me right there.
Yeah, there's you.
I smoke
that
a
you?
lot of dope, guys.
Is that you shilling a Bible?
I don't-
No,
That kind of looks like Rich Evans.
he's
Yeah.
showing his little black box.
Was that a stretch goal that we didn't know about?
See, it's Crankshaft.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna have to look that up because I
Look
I
it
don't know that
up
reference.
right now.
All right, we're gonna look this up.
Get your
There's
shit
that.
together, Well Red.
We try to
me
tell
down here?
Ted.
On
We
the
try to tell
street?
him. We try to tell him, but he didn't listen. This is what you get. So you gotta have to adapt.
I'm a busy man.
Yeah,
That you are.
I don't usually listen to anything people tell me, so you're gonna have to bear with me.
Just got done filming Matrix 7. I have to do John Wick 16 like next month.
You're a
I
busy
don't
man.
have a lot of time, Well Red, to review my awesome comics.
What are you going to use to kill someone in the next John Wick? You've used a pencil, a book.
I'm going to use Well Red's personality.
Oh, that
Oh,
will do it. That will be
yeah,
a
that'll
nuke
work.
bomb. Yes.
Look, it's Crankshaft.
I don't feel like I was obligated to know this, to be honest. Like,
That looks like Mr. Magoo.
You have
Yeah.
no appreciation for literature, sir. This is a
Yeah,
fine comic book. That
this
was
is-
not a book, but a strip. Not like the clubs that you attend.
this is too obscure even for me.
Crankshaft was in the Sunday Funnies
So to
every
address
week
Vic-
for years.
to address Vic's comment in the chat, where the fuck is everyone? They're not here, which means that we can say whatever we want, anything inflammatory, and will not be held responsible because no one will be here to hear it.
That's kind of true, but there will be rewatches probably, and I think everybody's getting hate speech strikes lately, so probably have to watch out.
You know what's funny? I got a hate speech strike for a video that I did from like 8 years ago that was actually anti-hate speech. So I
Really?
appealed it. Yeah, I appealed successfully, but it was like, whoa.
Vic seems to think Crankshaft looks like Adam Post.
I'd just like to make it clear that Crankshaft is a spin-off of Funky Winterbean.
Teddy, I kind of hate you right now.
It's been a comic strip for 34 years.
Why can't we talk about like Beetle Bailey or Garfield?
Who?
Exactly.
I
All
know
right.
Garfield from the posters. Hang in there.
What about Asterix?
Yeah. What about Asterisk, Ted?
Shift 8.
All right. The Cthulhu Files. So, first short story here
I
is
believe the C is silent.
No, it's not.
I'm
It's
pretty sure it is.
Then how would you say it? Thulu?
Yeah.
Thuluhu?
Thulhu. Yeah, Thulhu.
K Thulu.
Maybe it's K.
Trust me.
Maybe the T is silent too, and it's K.
I wrote it.
It's the Hulu files.
What about this? Is this K silent, Ted?
Yeah, I believe so.
The
I don't know
tail
what I was thinking when I wrote this or drew it. I don't remember which I did.
the
But it
tail
looks
of
awesome.
Leotep.
I like the Mummy Crankshaft. I think you guys know that by now.
Jabba, I will be home soon. Don't worry.
Here's Rob Morta to claim his book from Ted.
There you go. K Thulu.
How do you know that's not actually me using an alt?
That's true. But then why are you contradicting yourself?
It's not me. If it was me, I'd go by Robbie Muerto. It sounds better.
So this
Yes,
so
I will be,
Shit.
I will be home
but-
soon, Jabba.
I think
Yes,
he's asking about your dogs, actually.
Oh, yes, that's what it is. I will be home soon.
Yeah.
Elasmat does look like a little salacious crumb.
Sir, I'm not an elf. I disregard that statement.
So this is the first short story, or did you skip ahead?
This is the first
Yeah,
one.
The first one, yeah. So this is written by Von Close, who you may remember from Monster MD.
Well,
And
I
the
thought we were doing the one I wrote.
No, we're doing Von Close first. And the art and colors are by the same team that actually did Monster MD, so you might notice the style seems very similar.
Which one did I do?
Maybe the fourth one. I think you did the fourth one. We'll get to.
No, let's get this straight now.
You did the old guy in the red hat, and now he's
Crankshaft.
dead. Yeah. So, why did you do that to him, Ted? You're awful.
I thought it would be more creative, and that way they wouldn't be able to sue because they wouldn't realize it was Crankshaft.
So, do you want to catch us up, actually, Sunshine? Does this pick up from the last
She's
Tales
cute.
series, or is this something completely outside of that storyline?
It's kind of like side stories of characters that were in the first Tales from the Craft Room. So this is about the bus driver.
This is an anthology book.
Yes.
Hey, could you zoom in on his gaping maw right there?
Okay, I can do my best. Right there?
Yeah. Doesn't that look like Megs Visaggio's vagina?
I hope no one knows.
And this is why we have 6 viewers watching.
Yeah. Well, Ted might know, apparently. So,
I've been around.
you have.
But you'll notice in the pictures with her, My hand is not touching her.
See, she gets smacked in the face, and I kind of want to know what she looks like after that, but we don't get to see it.
I would never smack a girl in the face. That's how I know I didn't write this.
Are these all intended for just little comedic side stories, or do they actually serve a
No,
larger
this like
story?
tells you who the bus driver is. It's kind of like his backstory.
You get an
So it's
origin.
actually not very comedic. So
I felt like each of these stories did tell you about a different character or multiple characters.
yes,
This one had the best art, perhaps. The second one also had excellent art. But I felt like the story on this was lacking.
yeah, I wouldn't say it's lacking per se. It's nothing special. It's
So,
competent.
That would be lacking.
It's okay. So it gives you the history of this mummy character, and that's all it is. It just gives you his origin story and where he's at, and that's really it. So it's
I
like an
was more
introduction.
interested in the sexy mummy chick.
Yes. So the basis of the story is why this mummies are supposed to be like powerful people, and the society's just driving a bus.
Mummies are powerful.
He was on some ruling mummy committee, and he was made the leader, and so his rival set up his wife to seduce him, and then they were going to blackmail him with that. And
I
so,
illegally purchased a mummy once.
And what did you do with it?
uh-oh.
It's in my home. It's terrifying.
Hmm.
It's how I make myself feel brave.
As long as you didn't try to smoke it.
It's not an Egyptian mummy. It's a mummy of Guanajuato in Mexico. They're terrifying. Bog mummies.
Yeah, so that's the story where he's falling in love with the wife is his rival.
Has Robbie Muerto tried to get this book published by Alterna Comics?
I don't know. He can answer that in the
He
chat.
can.
Quite certainly.
This is your shot, kid. Listen, I got my own comic. It's called.
I do
What's
like
it called? What read? My comic.
Berserker, right?
Berserker.
Yeah.
You could be as popular as me, kid, but you're gonna need Peter Samedi. Actually, this probably did quite well on Indiegogo, didn't it?
That did decently. Oh, Rob says no. He didn't
It
ask.
reminds me of something colorful and magical that would be published by Alterna Comics. That's a compliment. A big compliment.
Also, you said it's played seriously for the most part, this story?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked because like the rest of the stuff was a little bit tongue. Although the second story, which is my favorite, to me actually went in a realm that I thought was more intriguing. But
It also used the word tit.
that is true. Cold, yeah, I made reference to cold
appropriate.
tits. Yes.
I mean, there's comedic moments. Like here, there's this Minotaur bartender, and like he's trying to be tough to him, and like he grabs him by the nose ring and slams him down.
Well, let me address the tit thing, for example, because he does bring up a point about it being inappropriate. It's when I read the whole thing, I'm like, okay, this reminds me of a book that would belong in the Scholastic catalog, and that's not an insult. It's basically just a referendum of who the target audience would be for this book. So I felt like when I read that part, it was like, okay, you go from a book that's potentially all ages to, I mean, it's not a big knock. It just felt out of place.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a pretty short story, so I guess you're just meant to enjoy it for what it is and move on quickly.
Yeah, I mean,
Drawn wonderfully
we
well.
pretty much said all there's to say about it. It's a
Yeah.
short story. The art, you can see the art is amazing. You can't argue with that.
Whoa, mummy! Oh, that's not. I thought it was real.
No, you're not in your house.
I guess you could liken it to a Simpsons
am I?
episode trying to tell you the
Where am
story
I?
about Otto the bus driver.
Yeah.
It's gonna be kind of just there. It's the bus driver. You can't only care so much.
Right. Don't worry.
Crankshaft. His name is Crankshaft.
Don't worry, Ted. You're safe on the internet where everybody loves you.
Except Jabba, because Jabba just told me to eat my dinner out of the trash. That's mean, Jabba. That's awful. That's hateful.
What did you do to Jabba?
He wants me to come home. I said, I'll be home right after this.
I think Jabba has the Christmas spirit. Look
Yeah.
at that avatar.
Well, he's a creator, so he's got the creator ego now.
Everybody with a stapler is not a creator.
No, sir. He's got the grand stapler.
Well, he only uses one staple at a time, so it's not that
That's
grand.
how great his book is. You just needs that one stapler.
Call me when he uses 3.
Ooh, shots fired.
Anything that's serviceable to the world building aspect of the story here?
I
or
mean,
is
it
just
tells you about the different races and things like that.
I do feel that it may have set up the little orange demonic character if he does play in as an antagonist in the future.
And does the mummy live to drive the bus another day, or is he pretty much dying at the end of this?
No, that's just him sleeping. So
Oh.
you learn his backstory and why he's just a bus driver. So
They haven't been able to kill Crankshaft in 34 years of publishing.
Well, I mean, they killed him from my memory. I don't even know who that character is.
Well, did you ever read Funky Winkerbean?
This is going to be awful.
You need to look that up.
So just to say this, okay, well, everybody that's Cthulhu says, I told you it was a terrible name.
Yeah.
Yes. What I was going to say is that when you read the anthologies in this book, with regards to world building, there's no central character. It's just, he just highlights a couple characters from this world and just gives you their backstory. So I don't know if he has like a bigger plan for this, because a lot of creators in the CG community don't seem to have bigger plans. So based on the fact that I read the first issue and then this one, I do see where he's going with it.
Never deliver.
Well, some do. It's just, my thing
Those
is like
ones have big plans.
I am what Evie has said about disposable books. Like, I'm big on that. I'm very big on that. I feel like there needs to be more valuable books, or these books with long-term plans, so that there is some kind of value down the road when all this is burning up in flames, that we have the memories of the footprints we left behind.
Clearly,
I
your
think
dog
that last point was the best, the Lasmat. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
got some agreement there.
Yes.
Your dinner is very excited.
Lasmat, did you know that if you take your comic book and you roll it up and you hit that dog in the snout, it'll shut the fuck up?
It's a
Could you,
hardcover, so it won't roll because it's a hardcover.
Could you display the bottom? You're kind of top heavy on that image.
Yep. Oh, and then
No.
I zoom out too much,
Need
of
to
course.
Scroll, not change the size. There you go. So this story is about this golem.
What the fuck? Are you Michael Vick or something? Are you fighting those dogs?
They want in on the review. I'm muted. Yes.
You're supposed to bring the water to a boil first before you put them in the pot.
No, you gotta test it to see if they're alive first. I like to cook them fresh.
No, you put them in head first, like crabs.
I like to see the torture.
I believe that the Thai just use a blowtorch, or not a blowtorch, but just like a flame gun, and just. I read a terrible article once.
Well,
Horrible. Ooh, that one's angry.
so tell us about this book, Sunshine, since you seem to be the only one interested in reviewing tonight.
So this is written by Rob Morta, and it's about the golem character who, as you get from the title, the quest for the cosmic dreidel. He's Jewish.
Oy vey.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, because when I first started reading this part, I was like, okay, because I noticed like in the other and the issue 1, which I know wasn't part of this review, but it kind of helped give a little backdrop on some of the characters. You have the Gilman character that was speaking like a ghetto black guy. I'm like, okay, it's weird that some of these characters have like ethnic associations, because some of them aren't even human. But I was like, it's whatever. But at first, when I started reading this one, I noticed a Jewish connection. I'm like, oh, this is weird that he's going with this. But then when you read the story and you read what it's about, it's like, okay, I see what's going on here. It makes sense, because the Golem is rooted in Jewish tradition.
Yes.
And there's been quite a few films made about the Golem. Actually, some people would attribute that as being one of the first Frankenstein type films. So there is like a connection there. You just got to know the history about it.
Back so we can look at the credits. So this is drawn by, I don't know who did what, but it's drawn by Matt Krotz, and the Monica is one of the artists from the previous story we looked at.
Matt Krotz of Kyrie fame, by the way.
That's right.
Yes.
Golem is a creature made out of clay, though, not dismembered body parts like Frankenstein.
Right? No, yeah, right. It started off as like a statue, and then it will come to life when the town people needed it. and the
It
Japanese
says
actually adapted
truth,
it
just
to my
in case
gin.
you guys don't know.
Oh,
Oh, very
thanks
good.
for that. So that
Yeah.
says truth up there.
That says truth. Aleph Mem Tav. Truth.
Very good. Now, what is the setup here? Is it is
Well,
there an
he's
antagonist?
wearing tefillin. Tefillin is a Jewish mitzvah, which gets you closer to God, which would be the headband with the word of God on his head, and then he wraps his arm. This is called tefillin.
Now, did you dress like this when you became a man, Ted, for your bar mitzvah?
No, this is not the traditional bar mitzvah. He's much more priestly. This is yes, yeah. I don't know. No, the answer is no.
Okay.
Talking about Jewish mysticism, it's hard to keep up the shtick, well read.
Well,
Sorry.
I hope that the other characters aren't Jewish in this story.
Because you hate Jews.
Well, his father's Jewish, yes, but
Oh, I see.
That's why you hate Jews, huh? Because your dad is Jewish, well read.
Yes, and my mother. So I have that going for me.
Hey.
so the setup is they're going on a school trip.
Okay. And they're being escorted around by a witch. I think.
Yeah, she's like their teacher.
Okay.
This was really good. I liked this story the best, I think.
Yeah, this story is the best. This was actually rather interesting.
yeah, this one had a lot of like twists on this one. Yeah, I think we agree. This is definitely the best of the bunch.
If I was to read one of these on the Crypto Comics channel in multiple voices, I would read this one.
I mean, should we do a reading?
I would want to get permission from the artist or whoever is
The
in
author.
charge. The author, the publisher. I don't know how it works with these indie comics.
Although
I would
I
get-
will say, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Elias, man.
I was gonna say one thing about the story. It was interesting that they named this character's father Golem. So I was like, okay, I know where that's from. Menachem Golem was one half of Golem Globus of Canon Films.
Yes. Excellent.
and I think they're
yeah.
visiting Golem Heights somewhere, right?
Well, the Golan Heights is in Israel.
Yeah,
Yes.
but in this book it's Golem Heights.
Get it?
I love it.
Get it?
Rob Morta has given you permission to do a reading.
I can do that. We have to get closer though. 'Cause I can't really see that, or I have to look at it on my own computer.
So we'll do a reading instead of a review. Is that going to be the?
We could do both. We could read it and then review it.
I may not be around for that because I have to be. I gotta take care of something
You
in
have
like
to go
20
eat
minutes.
a dog
Yes, exactly. I don't eat it. Well
and
done.
have
I eat
sex
it
with a slug man.
medium well, sir. Medium well.
I say let's finish up the review and then maybe come back for
Medium
selective
well
reading.
read. They call him medium well read.
Now,
Well,
my question to you is: do you want to spoil the ending of this one, or you want to just skip over the ending? Because I feel like if the book is still available and people want to get it, maybe
Is
they
the
should read
book
the ending for
available?
themselves.
I don't want to ruin this for everyone because it is totally awesome.
Well, why don't you tell us what people have to look forward to in this? What is
Lots
what
of Jewy shit.
what was exactly so awesome about it?
Jewy stuff. I'm way
Well,
into
I will-
Jews, dude.
I will say
listen
that
to Rabbi Manish Friedman on YouTube like every day. I really do.
Well, the person who's not being anti-Semitic and not getting ready to eat a dog, give us an opinion.
I'm not being anti-Semitic, dude. I'm being dead serious. I'm just doing a Keanu impression while being serious.
Okay, all right. Sunshine, what's there to look forward to in this story?
So it's kind of a mysticism journey he's going on, and what's real and what's not real is a little ambiguous. So it's kind of interesting to figure out what's going on.
And what do you think, alas, Matt? Is that pretty much what you took away from the entire story as well?
Well, I did find it at first when they're developing the character, you're wondering, okay, why are we interested in this character? But then once you see the ending, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. And I will say it is probably the most coherent of the batch. It does have like a satisfying first, second, and third act, and it still ends like not on a cliffhanger. It ends like a little, it leaves room open for more stuff because there's like a little bit of ambiguity in terms of what will happen afterwards.
Yeah, I won't spoil it, but it's not just the mysticism; it mixes in mental problems as well, and it's in a rather serious and thoughtful manner. I think it's not just a joke.
That's what I appreciated about it. It was very thoughtful, and then again, without spoiling it, it does like kind of bring to mind, fictional horror versus real horror, or like real demons, you could say. I'll leave it like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ted, did you want to add anything before we move on to the next story? And now Ted is.
No, I was just actually watching some of Rabbi Manish Friedman. I forgot we were doing the comic stream.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess if you've had your fill of Jewish culture, we can move on.
Keep going.
What would you like?
Remarkable story. What do you want to do?
What did you want to say about this?
This stream has to get over 55 viewers an hour. What do you do, Hotshot? Remember that one? I was in Speed with Dennis Hopper.
Vaguely,
oh yeah, that was you, wasn't it?
Bagley, he says. Highest grossing film of the year, you cock.
Like what, 30 years ago or something?
Oh, but I was in the Matrix movies too. And John Wick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
So this one is kind of simple to explain. So this is kind of like the backstory of our protagonist, Rabba Murta.
This also was good.
Yes. I mean, none of the art is bad. I mean, we said the first was the best, but I mean, every single anthology in here has interesting art to look at.
Yes, they're all different, yet they all work together well.
It sounds like all the ones that are written
like
by Rob, though, are the most enjoyable. Yes, we do all work together quite well.
Well, Rob wrote 2 out of 3.
Not a Lasmat as much, but it's okay.
Well, his dogs are helping.
Never be enough for me.
No, we need more Lasmat, definitely.
You only need a Lasmat.
That's right. That's all you need to get by. So which character does this one focus on? Rob? Or is that the name of the zombie character?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was not what's the best word? I didn't know why. Okay, so like if I'm writing a character, I wouldn't use my name on a character because I don't want to like be accused of doing what they call what they call it a
self-insert. I will note that Ra Morta is the name of the character, and the author just goes by the name, so it sticks.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's
it's
like
the reverse actually. He's become the character, I guess you could say.
Okay, I didn't know that. All right.
That's cool. Kind of like Ted.
Yes, exactly
like Ted.
Who's
Ted?
I think it's one of the dogs that Lasmat is getting ready to eat.
Oh, dude. But that's my name.
Shish kebab. It's not the name of my terrorist group. Anyway.
So this
Shish kebab muerto.
So this is a backstory similar in the sense to the first one, but since it's your protagonist, I guess it makes a little more sense to know what his backstory is.
And what is the backstory that they delve into here?
So it's his first school, essentially, and how he was unpopular, but he became very popular. So it's...
Yeah, the name of the school, by the way, is Romero School, the first school? Or is that the second school?
That's the first school, because zombies, yeah.
Right, okay,
it's a zombie-only school.
And the second school is Cthulhu High, as it was done in the first issue. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is like the story of like the fish out of the water kind of story. One of the things I will say is why I like the second story a lot better was because if you're dealing with ghouls and monsters, you're dealing with ghouls and monsters. You kind of want to you want to take advantage of the fact that they're ghouls and monsters and really make use of it and remind the audience you're not dealing with humans, you're dealing with supernatural creatures, and you kind of want to be like, oh, okay, like, you know, like the ending of this one kind of emphasizes my point, but I feel like there wasn't enough of it.
I do like how he's like, well, you know, where do new zombies come from? He's like, oh, most monsters, you know, they just give birth. But he's like, well, zombies come from a graveyard. They just come out of a graveyard where we go and you get new zombies.
Yeah.
So it's kind of implying like a separate world where people are dying and they become zombies in this world. But
see, I would like a story where they actually go into like the process of what happens when a person dies and they go to that transition into zombiehood. That would have been an interesting story. I think that would have been more in line of, okay, you want to, if you're gonna name your story on a character from an H.P. Lovecraft book, you want to kind of, you want to bring out the ghoulishness. You want to bring out more of the absurdity and the, little blood, little violence. You know, just something very, eerie, ghoulish. I keep saying ghoulish. I think it's the best word I can come up with. So,
I would like to see a book about transgender zombies who, after they've committed suicide, come back to life. And they like chase people down and they've got big titties and big dicks because they're naked. Because their clothes have been eaten off by worms.
So the premise here is like to have the most hideous deformity about the way you die makes you better. And he gets the dog to bite his ear, and like it's kind of a taboo to injure yourself after you've been born from the graveyard. So that was like his mar why no one liked him, because he added an injury to himself because he just has this neck wound. So that's kind of the premise of the story.
So it's a belonging,
yes,
kind of tale. Okay.
But then he's like really good at sports and people forget about it, and he like stands up to a bully.
I like that he goes to Romero High, which I believe was named after the lead actor on Everybody Loves Ray.
Probably not. I think it's about a director.
Oh, come on.
Is that Ray Romano? You're Ray Romano, Ted?
Isn't that what it's named after? Ray Romero from Everybody Loves Ray.
Yeah. I mean, Rob could be the zombie of Ray Romero, I guess. Anyway, so played for laughs for the most part, and satisfying.
Creature from
ending.
the Black Lagoon. I love that movie.
Yeah,
that's the
that's
best Universal movie.
That's the African American character, believe it or not, because he talks like one. That's Harry, the Gill Man.
How do you know
you read more about him in
American?
Yeah, you read more about him in issue 1. I was kind of thrown up at why he was talking ghetto, because there was nothing that really establishes
Why do you identify ghetto talk with African Americans, Elasmat?
Because I grew up with them, so I know.
Because you are a racist.
Sir, that is not well. Okay, yeah, that is true, but that's beside the point. The point is this:
you don't know. The creature from the Black Lagoon could be a wigger.
Well, that
Marshall
was it written like
Mathers'
one?
Parents.
This is written like Micah Curtis style ghetto.
And Michael Curtis definitely knows his ghetto.
Yes, he does.
He's like a dog.
Yeah. And how does the entire story wrap up here?
With a bow.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
It ends wonderfully. He confronts a bully and he kicks the bully's butt.
And then he like puts a bicycle through his head or something.
I didn't want to go that far. Now you might as well just show him.
Well, everybody liked the second one, as you mentioned, because it was the most unexpected. But I guess on a strictly comedic level, which of the 3 stories did you enjoy the most here?
Comedic level?
Aren't these
Probably
stories?
the last one has the most traditional
Just
sort
dark
of
humor. We'll call it dark humor, if you want to call it that. Yeah,
Sure.
Definitely, this one is the one with the most dark humor.
I mean, there's a touch of humor in the other first two, but really only the third has a lot of humorous bits, I'd say.
The second one is more defined by its creativity than its humor, I would say.
Yeah. I would say the Tales from the Classroom has actually like humorous bits. The other ones just have kind of touches of humor in them in this anthology.
I guess that's where I was going. That which of these follows most closely to the spirit of the first Tales from the Classroom book? And it sounds like the third.
I guess. I mean,
God,
the
why do you have to film in a fucking animal shelter?
They deserve representation too, sir.
I would say the first one's more geared towards kids, and these ones are more like at least teens. They're kind of addressing serious issues.
Yeah, I
Kind
would
of
say
have
young.
more.
I would say YA for sure for the second set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And which of the three got you the most excited for Tales from the Classroom 2?
The Jew one.
Okay.
There's like some hints in the first one that may come to play out. They're like not major parts of that story, but it like establishes who Cthulhu is and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Who is the main artist on this book? Is it this person
Which
or
person?
none of them?
I believe Monica Makagini and Tanya Wickers are going to be the leads in the books.
Hey, Makagini. Oh. Remember that song?
Not really.
I don't want to see him on a Mia Makagini.
Rob Murtha answers that question.
Hey, Makagini.
It'll be Monica from now on. Okay. Well, that's good.
Is this the one that's Monica?
Hey, Dark Gift. Welcome.
Which one is Monica?
I think it's this
Hey,
issue.
Makagini.
I believe it's this story where it's Monica doing the art.
I believe Rob is going to tell us in the chat.
Or maybe not. Maybe it's the
Why
first
is
one.
Rob not on here? So that we could confront him about his work and how awesome it is.
And Rob clarifies the third one was Maxi Diallo.
Yeah, the first one was Monica. My mistake.
It's Diallo. That's
Diallo.
Diallo.
Well,
Yeah.
she is absolutely wonderful. I hope you maintain Tanya Wicker for your colors, Rob.
I'll shoot you the StreamYard link in
Don't
DM.
shoot him.
Rob.
He's already dead. He's
No,
a
I'm just gonna-
zombie.
I'm
If
just
you're
gonna
gonna
shoot
shoot him, aim for the head or the dick.
I'm just gonna shoot the link to him.
All right, so on a scale of 1 to 4, I don't mean to cut people off. I don't know if he was going to go here, but I was going to say on a scale of 1 to 4, how would you guys rate the overall book as a
I prefer to use fruits when I rate things.
go for it?
This one was a banana
Okay.
mixed with a strawberry.
A peeled banana or a whole banana without being peeled yet?
No, that is disgusting to eat it with the peel on.
Okay, so an unpeeled banana says Tatiana Logan. Okay, got you.
Well,
It was foreign,
usually
but delicious and not tart at all.
Sunshine likes to rate according to Wood Back Again, I guess.
Monica's art is high in potassium.
My question would be, did it get you interested in the next book in the series?
Honestly, looking through the first issue got me interested in the. This is technically the second issue? I'm confused.
It's 1.5, perhaps.
Okay. The first issue got me interested in the second issue, but Monica Makagini's art is so phenomenal and high in potassium that it makes me even more excited for the next issue.
I would agree with Ted, or at least what I think he's saying is the first issue makes you interested to see where the story is going. This anthology, the art direction, if like it looks like any of the three in here, I think the first did look good, but what the art is in this anthology is a step beyond that.
So what I would say is the first one, and I speak for myself, so I gotta be careful how I say it because I am a
Speak
creator.
for me.
I am a creator, so I do need to be respectful. So I'll say it like this: I didn't feel invested after the first issue. I wasn't compelled with the story. It just didn't grab me. The anthology stuff was better, but I'm not invested enough to look further beyond it. But I think that if he did more of the ghoulish stuff and really took advantage of the fact that you're dealing with zombies and werewolves and all these characters, and just take advantage of it and push yourself beyond the limits of what you can do with these characters, I think it would grab enough people's attention. Definitely the tone of the second story, Dreidel, that kind of storytelling, definitely, like, if you can do more of that, you'll definitely have more of a compelling series. Um, that's where I would stick with it. The mummy story was okay, but it was like I read it, and then when you get to the last part, you're like, oh, okay, I guess that's it. And then the third story, aside from like the ending where you kind of did take advantage of the ghoulishness aspect of it, I kind of felt like wasn't that interested in it. And I guess part of it was because of the first issue, where like I feel like reading the first issue, it was, you could have just made these characters robots and you would have had the same thing. Like, I think if you're gonna use monsters or ghouls, take advantage of it and really go balls to the wall, and then employ the same storytelling that you did with a Dreidel short. I think you have a winner doing it that way.
Okay. Ted, do you have any thoughts at all?
Sometimes, if I
What
think
kind-
about it hard enough.
What kind of thoughts do you have? Mostly about dreidels?
Hold on. One's coming. Hey, did you know that the little Jewish guy in that, he was a golem, right? But he wasn't made from stone. He was made from silly putty.
So it was silly.
Silly putty.
Hmm.
I liked it. I
Is
like
that-
Crankshaft.
Well, none of us remember Crankshaft.
Well, that's because you were raised poor, well-read. Your family was on the welfare and couldn't even afford 35 cents for the newspaper.
That is true.
And sad.
Well, so is it heresy that the golem is made out of silly putty and not clay?
I don't believe so. The golem had a good heart.
Oh, okay. The silly putty clearly transferred that quality to him.
And what I think is really wonderful is that they didn't bring up how he'd been kicked out of 109 other monster schools. Just for being different.
Sunshine, would you like to wrap us up here?
I would say.
Because it's a mummy, get it? Wrap
Exactly.
it up.
Oh, it was a
Exactly.
joke. Okay, then I don't
Yeah.
need to do anything.
Crankshaft jokes are awesome. Good job,
No.
Red.
You can have the final
Mummy
say.
shaft. Sorry.
I would say I like the more adult take that these anthologies are going through, but since the stories were kind of throwaway besides the second one, that I wasn't quite as interested in them. I mainly like looking at the art. It was very well done. Even the different styles, all three of them were very well done.
I like the different art styles. Like I'm more open about art styles because there seems to be this sentiment in Comicsgate where if it doesn't look like an Image 90s comic, it's shit, which is a bullshit take to have. I definitely appreciate the art styles in the anthologies. So that's one area where I think the book excelled in. It's just given different visions. So I totally appreciate that.
Yes, her art style has clearly improved since she worked on Von Klaus's book.
Monster MD.
Monster MD, yes. What I would like to see is for Robbie Muerto, the character, to get into a relationship with a sexy mummy hotep chick like Crankshaft here was involved with in this book. I think that would be interesting and provide a good romantic relationship for this teenage boy.
Well, that might have to wait for the college years. I don't know.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's not. You're opening a Pandora's box right now. Let's not.
No, let's. I like looking at chicks.
Even zombie chicks or monster
If they're
chicks.
drawn well.
Cool. Well, I
she
guess
could be the Veronica to a vampire chick's Betty.
I guess
Dale A says thumbs down for bad impressions.
I thought they were good impressions. Maybe he's talking about Elasmat's dogs. They don't seem to like the comic very much.
Yeah, last Matt, that doesn't sound like a dog at all. Stop, give it up.
Sir, I am very
See, no one
diverse.
believes that. That's you.
Yeah.
This is true. Yes, jig is up. You're right. I confess. I am a tiny werewolf. This is true.
You should play with your squeeze toy for a little while because we have to bring on Rob and apologize to him for this review.
All right. Well, before I go, let me just say
Hey.
hi to Rob. How are you doing, Rob?
Greetings.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Rob. How are you?
Thanks for having me. And
You
thanks for
sound
the
much
review.
older than your character looks.
No, I'm also like I just went through like a pretty tough
Breakup.
flu-like
COVID. It was
thing.
COVID, wasn't it?
I thought it was COVID. I could swear it was COVID because I had the most
It was
massive
Robbie
headache. But it's not, fortunately.
Well, I'm glad
Okay.
you could be here with us, Robbie COVID. Robbie Muerto.
Thank you, man.
So, for this little short project that you did, you were hoping to mainly tease people and get them excited for the next book in the Tales series.
Yeah, I think so. It's because the idea was that these stories were going to be originally part of Tales from the Classroom 2. There would be supplements to the actual book, but they just sort of ballooned out of proportion. They became big enough to feature in their own book. And their primary purpose is to sort of do some world building and flesh out certain characters in the universe. And yeah, as Tales from the Classroom 2 was in development and these stories were further ahead in terms of their completion, I decided to just publish it as its own thing. So Tales from the Classroom wouldn't like completely disappear off the radar, and it was still fresh in people's minds.
So, since this is finished, is this shipping the people at this moment?
It's not shipping at the very moment. I'm waiting for test prints to arrive, which they should.
If you were
Right
going
on
to
the
ship
page.
Well Read with any other character, who would it be?
What's that?
If you were going to ship Well Read with any other character, who would it be?
Ship Well Read?
Uh-oh, we have a boomer.
I'd ship them to Serbia myself, but
Well, at least it's not Siberia. So
yeah.
Yeah. Australia.
I mean, ship me with the Gollum character made of silly putty. We'd make a cute couple.
That's how I imagine you looking in real life, Well Read.
Very close.
Curls.
With a mustache.
You have a mustache?
Yeah, and a smile like John Candy.
My grandfather always said, why try to cultivate around your mouth what grows wild around your asshole?
Sounds like another potential Tales story for Rob.
Yeah,
So
that could serve as inspiration for a whole new book.
Yeah, the face that grows out of somebody's asshole.
Yeah.
So when are you planning to launch your Tales from the Classroom 2? I assume probably after you ship this, or
So, I ship this, but then it's going to be a while until the next Tales is done because Tanya Wicker, who's the amazing colorist in that first story that you saw, The Tale of Cleotep, she's amazing, but she takes a while, as any amazing colorist would. And I'd say she's about 30% done.
okay, so not too bad since you haven't even launched that campaign yet. So
That's true. Yeah. I mean, the idea is to do it in about 4 months, 4 or 5 months.
So you want it almost completely done before you launch it?
Almost completely, which is
Okay.
what I usually do. Is when books hit around 90%, that's when I launch the campaign.
That's probably a good plan if you can, front the money.
If you can do it, and you can still run into delays, although you're doing that.
Yeah.
What kind of
And-
delays happen in that scenario? Just out of curiosity.
with this scenario was the design issues with the design of the book. I didn't foresee a lot of the filler pages needing to be done, and also my design guy, who's Ryan Honorado. He's super. I think he's very good, but he has a full-time job and sort of was AWOL for a little bit, and that delayed the process a bit.
I guess I have to bounce, but I want to thank you for having me on. Thank you for the opportunity to read the book. Rob, good job on the book overall, and I know you're going to do great in your next book. I really appreciate you doing what you're doing. So keep it up.
Thank you, man.
All right, well read.
Yes.
On behalf of my dogs, I wish you a speedy, quick,
Death?
like little mic. Well, no, I want torture for you. I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to say it without offending the little ones watching this stream right now. So,
Okay. Yeah, but it was great having you, Lazman. Thank you very much.
yeah, I
for
appreciate it. Sunshine, thanks for
talking
being
about
here. Ted, you should have been in the Lost Boys sequel. I think it's a travesty and it needs to be rectified right now.
Oh, that would have been amazing. That's
Yes.
a shame.
Yes. All right. So you guys, oh wait, Ahmed's here. Oh, Ahmed, I appreciate you being here, Ahmed. You should have came earlier. We could have used you, Ahmed. All right.
Yeah.
So and I saw you mention and acknowledge that this had a little bit of an older tone. These
Yeah.
stories, and that's the idea for the Tales property going forward, because I did feel that the first book was skewed a little too young.
Yeah, it was more like 10 years old, I guess. Maybe it was.
Yeah, around there. And the idea is to make it a bit more in the YA.
Yeah, I think you nailed the YA, at least, if that's what you're aiming for.
Yeah, and ultimately the idea is to also remake the first one so that with the same artistic team, with Monica McCagney and Tanya Wicker and everything, and we'll be changing even some things regarding the script with the first chapter.
I will say it's actually a remarkably similar style to what you had before.
Really?
Yeah, I say it looks pretty similar. It's clearly different, but it's a natural transition.
Yeah, but it nailed that animation.
Yeah, it's true.
Slick animation like look that I was looking for.
Yeah, if they could animate, this would look perfect as an animation. Yeah, a cartoon.
Yeah.
Do you have any more stories planned similar to the Gollum one? Because that seems to be the one that everybody enjoyed the most.
A story similar to the Golden one. I have stories that, as you write the book, you have like 20,000 different stories pop up in your mind. I wouldn't know if any similar to the Golden story offhand, but yeah, something with maybe a little more poignant and. Yeah, I have a few things in the
How about clarifying? Is like how that Golem story ends? Is that going to affect future stories?
That will affect future stories because the dreidel becomes a device in the future. So essentially it becomes sort of like a multi-sided two-face coin, where like every decision that Joshua makes is based on spinning the dreidel.
And Joshua is the Golem, since we didn't.
And Joshua's the Golem. Yeah.
So is Joshua going to become more involved in Rob's inner circle of friends, because he's kind of a side character in the first?
Yes, but he's the bridge between Rob and Drake. Because
that's true.
He hangs out with a bully, but he's not a bully himself. He's sort of like in that gray area. So he's one of those prominent side characters. Yeah.
Okay.
Josh, Harry, who's the ghetto speaking guy.
Black Lagoon, creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah. Who's not African American.
Creature from the African American Lagoon.
Oh, sorry.
But he's not African. He just speaks. He speaks ghetto. That's the thing.
That
Yeah,
is
Ted.
cultural appropriation, sir.
Well, you speak
Yeah.
a little ghetto, don't you, Ted?
For shizzle, my nizzle.
There you go.
I gotta head out, but thanks, Rob, for joining us. It was a
Thank
very
you.
interesting
Thanks for the
tale.
review.
Yeah, no problem. So see you later.
All right. Thank you, Sunshine.
Catch you
Thank you
later.
very much for being here.
Yeah.
Great. So, yeah, it seems like everybody enjoyed it quite a bit, and I think the quality of the books, kind of speak for themselves. The first one almost felt like it could have been a mainstream release, just by the art and the storytelling, and then this one seems also to follow up in a similar vein. I noticed you had
Yeah.
Von Klaus do a story here. Is that something?
Yeah, he did. I approached him because also that's the point of these anthology type books is to sort of showcase different talent, artistic and otherwise. So I wanted to reach out in the future, also reach out to writers that are in the scene, in the indie comic scene, that whose work I sort of enjoy, and I liked Monster MD and decided to get in touch with Vaughn, and he was excited about writing this short story about Cletus, and I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, it seems like collaborations in this indie community help a lot. Like it's a way for people to support each other's work and kind of give a fresh perspective on their properties.
And that's true, yeah. And also, like Monster MD was a smash hit, right? And it's good to, so within the indie scene, getting associated with Vaughn is good for the project. It's always it gives you more eyeballs theoretically.
Ted, would you consider collaborating with anyone?
I would consider collaborating with everyone except for War Campaign.
Well, I think that's a very sound judgment on your part.
Sometimes I have excellent judgment. Other times, not so much.
Can I say something? I'm very excited though to see the print version of the comic, because it's a shame that you guys could only read it in the digital format. Because what we're doing with the different print jobs, I'm actually excited about. There's 2 variant covers, as you saw in the digital thing, but each of the print runs are going to be completely different. The way that the books feel and the paper quality and everything is going to be totally distinct.
I believe that you have an IP that is highly original and could be very profitable to you in the future if you can get some eyes on it in the television industry.
Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, this was written originally with the intent of being either a cartoon or originally as a movie. Actually, it could have been a cartoon movie or a feature.
It
But,
definitely has everything you need to make it so.
Yeah, let's see. The tough thing is getting eyeballs, man. I'm terrible at the promotion game, and
I
and
understand.
I also don't want to become like a YouTube character. You know what I mean? Where I have to build my YouTube channel, and nothing against that, but it's not something that it takes so much devotion and so much of your time.
You should
I'd rather-
contact Crypto Comics and have him review your comic book on his channel. Issue 1.
Crypto comics,
Correct.
is that a big guy?
Well, yeah, more than most people in Comics Gate.
And stature.
Oh,
And
really?
also, yes, at least 250. 3,000 plus subscribers.
Would you collaborate with Gary Busey, Ted?
I would be willing to leave this stream and come back as Gary Busey, in fact.
Oh, that could be interesting.
I think I will.
All right. Well, we'll wait for Gary's Busey to arrive. I would like to ask Rob, do you have any other properties in mind that you're hoping to build up a little universe around, or are you just planning to focus on
I'll
Tales
tell
from the
you.
Classroom?
No, I have a few other things also, but we'll see how like this the second Tales book will do because it's if it's financially viable or not. But I have this thing called Olympus Returns, this IP that I'm actually super excited about, and that only really works in the comic book medium because it's such a visual sort of property. The best way to showcase it is really through comic books first, and then I'm always thinking of the next thing, like a television adaptation or whatever. I know people like sort of shirk away from the idea of like, oh, he's only writing this to not for the love of comic books, but because he wants to make it into some
TV.
Hollywood thing.
Yeah.
But no, man, I love comics. I have a deep passion for the genre. I grew up with it. But if you enjoy a property that you create, then surely you must see the potential that it has in several forms of media, And I think that's the case with Tales, and it's the case with most of anything that I get my hands on in terms of writing.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting your property to be successful, whether that's in TV, film, or in comics. So
Yeah, no,
we can ask.
That's my philosophy. Yeah.
We can ask Barry Goosey about that.
Hey guys, I'm a big fan of your comic book, and I was wondering, would you ever want to do some sort of a thing where we get together and do a comic book about my accident I had where I crashed a motorcycle. I had 26 angels come and speak to me that day, and I would love to do that as a comic book.
It sounds like another excellent idea.
Do you like cocaine? I used to love cocaine.
I actually don't.
That's probably smart. That's why I got in the accident, actually.
Is that when you became a zombie, Barry?
That's just the way my face looks now. I'm actually still very nice.
Gary Busey would play an amazing zombie. Huh?
I think so. Yeah.
I'll play anything if you have the money. I will come and I need the work. They all give it to my son Jake now.
We could have you play Scarface, but only at the end where he's at the table with the guns.
I played that in my real life many times.
Well, you're perfect for the part.
Private,
yeah. Our people will call you.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me be here.
Anytime. Yeah. So that was Barry Goosey. So I know we can't keep you too long. Do you also work full time, Rob? Is that something that you're just trying to do?
Yeah. I write full time.
Oh. And is that a difficult transition, jumping from your full time work to doing comic books, or is this something that you do just purely out of enjoyment?
It's mostly an enjoyment thing, but it isn't a difficult transition because I'm focusing more on screenwriting at the moment, and there's a lot of similarities, I would say, between comic books and film. People say how they're different mediums and everything. It's all about with the tempo, and with comic books you have to be careful with page turns, and when and know how to time the action beats,
Mm-hmm.
But it's very similar.
Did you train professionally?
With the screenwriting?
Yes. Were you?
With screenwriting, yes. I mean professionally. I did workshops and things like this.
And was it difficult for you to break into that, or is it something that just kind of happened for you?
Was it difficult to break into? It's still difficult. I work on spec mostly, so it's if a project goes ahead, it's very happy.
Well, I mean,
but once you're in the circuit, it's much easier to get work, basically.
Well, good. Well, I mean, I wish you a lot of success, and I hope the project works out for you, and this campaign
Thank you. I
continues to grow
appreciate it.
just
I
properly.
appreciate that. Like I sent it to you, and so fast. You got this stream going on such short notice.
Yeah, we didn't have anything planned at that time, and then I've been wanting to do a stream where I brought certain people together. So this seemed like a good, a good book to have all those characters, all those personalities on one stream.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it would get so chaotic, but you know,
Did
I
you?
guess that always.
Can I ask you a question? Do you read like the books that you guys review or no?
I personally don't read them.
You never read them.
I read them after, but
I see.
usually for the reviews, I avoid reading them because I don't want to lead my questions based on things that I already know about the books.
Uh,
I try to ask from the way the audience is maybe experiencing the reviews,
I see.
and if there are points that need to be brought up that I haven't thought of because I've already read it. I don't want to overlook those points. So I try my best to understand them from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
it,
cool.
it's a mixed experience, I think.
No, I like it, but it's just I'm always curious to know what your opinion is, and we never get to hear it.
I think usually I don't like everything I read, but but I'm sure that's what I've been told anyway. I've been told that I have very strong opinions, very harsh critic.
Okay, cool.
But no, I usually like there have been a few projects that I've enjoyed, and it's just I don't know. I guess uh, sometimes the things that we choose to read here, like especially the mainstream projects, they're pretty awful, and so those are the ones I typically end up participating on the reviews, and
Uh-huh.
those books tend to be horrendous. I'm sure in the indie
Really?
scene,
But
yeah,
do you think it's just because the mainstream's in tatters, from a creative perspective, or?
I think yeah. I mean, like that's a big thing for me. I want a project to be creative and interesting when I read it. I don't want to feel like I'm just reading the same things over and over again. Because I've been reading comics for a long time too, and I'm very the tropes are worn basically. So
Yeah, they
um,
are. I'm burned out on superheroes, which I thought would never happen.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm writing a book right now, and I'm avoiding every superhero trope that I possibly can. So
Oh, but it's a
it's
superhero story.
no, it's not. Um,
Okay.
but I mean, it has a central character, and there is something extraordinary about him. I wouldn't call it a superhero story by any means. So, and definitely trying to avoid those idealizations that you come across in the superhero genre. I considered doing a superhero series at one point, but I think I would do that strictly on a lark. I wouldn't invest a lot into it just to see if if there's anything new or interesting I could have to add to um, that genre. So
To the genre, which is already so
saturated.
saturated.
Yeah, I agree. Like I'm
Uh,
looking at some of the
but
former.
I wonder if like the recent like upsurge in popularity with manga has to do with just how many genres the that it hits. You know what I mean? As opposed to Western comics, which is very focused on at least mainstream comics from the big publishers are very focused on superheroes. And it used to be that back in the day, it was all sorts of different genres. You'd have like soap operas basically for catered towards women specifically. You'd have
Mhm.
cowboy stories. You'd have all sorts of different things.
Right, right. Yeah, and I
Uh,
think the comics used to benefit from that diversity. The superhero stories, I mean, um, because then it would allow for a little bit more variety in the storytelling. But once it became so narrowly focused and it was just all heroes, I think it just became very dumbed down and cliched, and just stuck to that after a while. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, um, we'll see. I mean, I don't know about manga becoming the point of focus. I mean, I used to think a lot of that had to do with cost, but then when I talk to manga fans, that has to do a lot with also a generational thing where there are a lot of archetypes in manga that appeal to millennials and the market that tends to focus on those stories, and a lot of those have been abandoned, I think, in Western comics. So, um,
Do you think it also has to do with the fact that they're not quite so bogged down by PCism as
well, that's what
as the
I've been
West
told. Yeah, I mean, it was mostly that the female characters
or female?
feel, yeah, are female, and I guess the you still have strong male male figures in those books. So, but I mean, I also think that just the Western comics have become very boring. I mean, there there's not much that they can really do with that material, and manga, it has these familiar personalities that people tend to latch onto, I guess, at a within a particular age group, and the stories are probably a little bit more engaging because they tend to be a bit more creative, um, from a
Yeah.
different perspective. So,
Yeah, and there's another thing. They're not afraid to finish a story. You know what I mean?
right.
To bring a story to an end. Whereas that's a different model. I mean, like your Batmans of the world, it's like how fresh can you keep an 80-year-old property? You know, you have to keep rebooting the thing and retconning it and or killing him off and then resurrecting and if you've been reading comics for as long as I have, it gets old pretty quick, you know. And
Yeah.
then the way that they're re-envisioning these characters now just doesn't speak to the people of our generation, of our
No.
generation. Assuming we're sort of like in the same ballpark age wise, but we could be totally different. But anyway, of a certain generation, which is the sort of the traditional customer customers of comic books, you know, that are like probably around the 40 years old age group, you know,
Hmm.
30s, early 40s.
Right.
Those are like that used to be like the bulk of comic book customers, and now they're being alienated from their own pastime.
They're being alienated, and the younger crowd isn't really
No, they're
being
not.
attracted towards the books either. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's why we have the indie scene, and hopefully creators like you to rejuvenate things for us. So,
Let's hope, man. I'm hopeful about the indie scene, and I do feel like the I don't know. You've been at this for a while, looking at a lot of different comic books in the indie space, but from my perspective, it feels like the general quality of these books are going up substantially.
hmm
At least
I mean,
in terms of presentation, I feel like that's the case. No.
yes, I agree. Actually, in terms of publishing quality, yeah, production quality, absolutely, they're going up in
Hmm.
value. Story quality, I feel like, is not always the case, but
Yeah.
I think it's hard because in the indie scene, it doesn't. I don't think there's any structure in place there for any kind of robust collaborations that would happen in the mainstream. In the mainstream, they would pluck an artist out of their pen and pluck a writer and put them together and assume that something would happen between them that would work out fairly effectively. In the indie scene, though, it's you have to network, you have to build relationships, and a lot of people tend to not do that. They like to just stay to themselves, um, not really branch
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So you don't get the kind of meaningful collaborations that you need. And I think everybody should be playing to their strengths, and you should have also every player on your team. You should have a good writer, that you can call upon, a good artist, good inker, a good letterer, all the things that you typically need, a good editor. And the indie scenes, all those things are not necessarily there at your beck and call. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it's still a fairly this type of indie scene, which is the crowd-funded indie comic space, is still in a germinative state. So there's a lot of room for evolution.
yeah, I agree. I just think people should maybe switch to thinking in that mindset at some point. Like, it's good that you've reached out to Von Klaus, and you have him writing stories with you, and you have a diverse set of artists working on your books. All that I think is very beneficial, and I just think people do have to think more in those um, uh, communal approaches when putting these
Hmm.
projects together, because you never know when you're going to need somebody with a unique perspective or a unique ability to come and contribute
Yeah,
to
I
what you're
mean,
doing.
and there's so many guys. It's so cool that like these guys are in the same space, and you can, a lot of them you respect their work, like, and you can reach out to them. And the thing is, they're most likely to, if they appreciate your property and they appreciate you as a creator, they're more than likely to be on board with collaborating. I was thinking Narwhal is another guy that I respect, but he's got a very very indie, sort of like an auteur sort of aesthetic.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I was thinking, like, how am I gonna? I really respect him. How am I gonna come up with like a story or a concept that he would be a good fit for until Surpassor, right? So I can pitch it to him and and for it to make sense. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's not just about having an artist or a writer that you respect. It's about finding the material that's suitable for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
With Matt Krotz, for instance, I felt that he's got a very loose sort of his line work has like a loose quality to it that's very indie, but that would have been perfect for the Joshua story, because a lot of it just takes place in his mind. Spoiler alert.
Right.
And then there's a contrast between that and the real world, which is drawn by Monica McCagney. And so I thought, all right, so that's perfect for that particular story.
Hmm. And that's kind of been my intention with the channel, actually, is to try to bring as many of the smaller creators here to participate as much as possible in reviewing books, particularly writers who don't always get a platform to really demonstrate their talents. So they come on and they give their thoughts, and they can show exactly what their perspectives are on comics and making comics. And so,
So
um,
is there ever like a review where like people just totally trash the book, and then you invite the creator over? It's got to be a little bit awkward now.
um, well, I think we try to keep it diplomatic. People don't typically, for the indie books, people don't typically come on and say, "Oh, I hated this," and like, "This is the worst thing," and like they don't make it personal for the
Mhm.
most part.
Yeah.
There's been some rare exceptions, but for the mainstream books, I think people are more willing to cut loose. And
Yeah.
I'll usually ask people, like, are they comfortable reviewing indie books, or would they prefer to talk about mainstream books? Because maybe they like to give more spicy impressions, more hot takes in their reviews. But if it's an indie review, it typically stays on constructive criticism, and it's respectful. I don't know that we've had anybody really. Nobody comes in and does a fluff review, to my knowledge, anyway. I mean,
Sure.
if they do, they don't tell me. But um, the tone that I've picked up on from the reviewers has always been constructive criticism, because a lot of them themselves are indie creators, and I'm sure they're sensitive to the kind of reviews that they would like to receive. They would like to hear some feedback, and they would like to know where they could improve on their work, but they at the same time don't want to be just dragged through the mud arbitrarily for the sake of views on a small YouTube channel. So,
Yeah, of course, and I think that creators appreciate candid reviews. You know what I mean?
yeah. So
And it's easy to pick up on whether a criticism comes from a place that's constructive or mean spirited.
right. So it's
And I think in the case of your reviewers, overwhelmingly they're just people sharing their genuine opinions on these
yeah.
books.
Yeah, I mean they're fans and creators, and there's a lot of people. There's a big rotation of reviewers that we have coming on at this point, and so we get a lot of opinions. The fans tend to be a bit more,
Cutthroat.
unreserved. Let's put it that way, because they don't have as much at stake. But I mean that's okay too, because the fans deserve to have the right to give their comments and their thoughts on these projects as well, from their perspective. And
So who is this guy Crypto? Was that a real thing or no?
yeah, crypto comics is a real review channel. And you should
Is that
probably
CRY or CRI?
CRY.
Why Crypto
Yeah.
Comics?
Yep. Definitely check them out. And
I've never heard of him. I thought I knew everybody on the review circuit.
Well,
But there's some guys that come in and then they disappear. And this guy seems Comics and Crypto podcast. That's it. Comics and Crypto, right?
I thought it was Crypto Comics.
Crypto Comics, found it. All right, good.
Yep. So yeah.
Maybe I'll send it over to him. Yeah. So he does CG reviews as well.
He does indie reviews, and he does some mainstream reviews as well, but of older books from what I've seen.
Okay.
So Ultraverse, I think. Things like that.
Gen 13, and I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Definitely worth giving him a shout and seeing what works out there.
Cool. Yeah, because like I said, man, I really need to get some eyeballs in this and on this property to make it viable. The idea would be to like make it finish the story at least. I don't want it to end at chapter 2.
Right.
But it's such an economic burden to keep doing these things and operate at a loss. But yeah, I need it to be profitable, basically.
Right. I mean, keep grinding. That seems to be the only thing that you really can do.
That's the idea. Yeah. Good. Maybe like more activity in the Twitter account. There's different things that I'm actually thinking of hiring somebody to do the promotional legwork for the next one.
Right.
Somebody in the indie comics scene with a proven track record.
I hear you also about the difficulty in like having your own channel and doing all these things yourself, because just because people make good comics doesn't mean that they necessarily can run good YouTube channels, and it takes a lot of time.
I think that's one of the most. I don't get that John Malin gives out that advice a lot. To build your platform, and I can understand for people who want to do this as a 100% full-time operation.
Right.
That you would do that, but number one, not everybody's a YouTube personality that's engaging enough to build an audience in the first place. And second, it takes so much of your time that it's almost like a full-time job in itself.
Exactly. So
It's just not viable and realistic for most people. And a lot of and listen, a lot of the ways that it's one of the easiest ways for you to rack up views is to make a fool of yourself or stir up drama. That's a surefire way to get more eyeballs on your property and you. But that's not something I'm prepared to do. So
right. Yeah, shortcut to success, but not necessarily to having a good
No.
reputation.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, listen.
And,
This was it's been great, man. But it's 5:15 a.m. over here in
sure.
Portugal. So I think it's about time I go get some shut eye.
Absolutely. Well, the book looks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say the book looks great, and we're looking forward to the second one. So keep us posted.
Yeah, I will, man. Thank you for the review.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
bye-bye.
have a good night. Thank you. All right, everybody. I'm going to wrap up the stream and say good night for the review portion. I'll start up another stream if people would like to hang out and talk, and we can go over recent events. I have some articles I can bring up, and that'll be it for this episode. So hopefully we'll have another review coming up pretty soon. We'll be doing a mainstream book more than likely, and I'll keep you all posted. So be sure to give me a like and a follow, and I hope to see you all again very soon. So until then, have a good night.